She won't sit out. You going or am I going? What? Go, you dickhead.
Exhibit number 1. This is Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt. He works at the Sharp County Sheriff's Department in Ashflat, Arkansas. Isn't he a fine public official? Listen to him again. Furthermore, this officer lied under oath during a criminal hearing. He has also hidden exculpatory evidence and even hid witnesses. Exhibit number 2. On December 4, 2024, I sent Sergeant Lane King and Sheriff Shane Russell an email stating, I would like to open an investigation regarding Bryce Trivitt. The reason for this investigation was because Bryce Trivitt lied under oath. I also stated in this email that Sheriff Shane Russell cannot lead this investigation due to a conflict of interest. Sheriff Shane Russell is the father-in-law of Bryce Trivitt. Exhibit number 3. This is the sworn testimony from Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt. Exhibit number 4. Bryce Trivitt states, I did not interview the alleged victim's parents. Here are some statements made by Bryce Trivitt during this interview that he stated he didn't have. Exhibit number 5.
He'll more than likely be charged as an adult, since he's 17.
Let's pause that for a second. Bryce Trivitt states my son will probably be charged as an adult since he is 17 years old. My son was not 17 years old at the time of this investigation. He was only 16 years old. Okay, now let's continue on with the audio.
And the severity of it, we can try to charge him as an adult, which happens a lot. So.
And in his, I know it sounds bad, but in his help, he'll get some mental help.
Yeah, I think that'll probably be a court order deal. That he definitely gets some. We can make that happen too.
He needs it.
I agree.
Okay, did you hear that? Did you catch what the alleged victim's parents stated about our son? The alleged victim's parents state, I hope he gets mental help. Bryce Trivitt states he agrees. Bryce Trivitt then told the alleged victim's parents that it's probably a court order deal. Then Bryce Trivitt proceeds to say, yeah, we can make that happen too. Now keep in mind, nobody has even interviewed the defendant yet and nobody even knows our family. So how would they know if anybody needed mental help? Now on to exhibit number 6.
Well, and that's another thing, when we talk to him, we can make sure and tell him, look, if you go near or try to talk to somebody else, you're going to be in trouble. Like, I'll come pick you up right then. Because if he even tries to talk, that's hindering my investigation. So at that point, I put his little butt in jail somewhere. But anyway, that's where we're at, and that's how we're going to move forward.
In that audio clip, Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt is now threatening arrest, even if the defendant talks to the alleged victim. Now keep in mind, Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt has not even interviewed the defendant yet. Again, Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt knows nothing about the defendant or their story. But what he does know is that he's gonna toss his little butt in jail. Now on to exhibit number 7.
I'm gonna try to expedite it today. My next step is to get a hold of the boy and his parents and see if we can figure something out.
His mom works at the.
Okay.
He does too in the afternoon.
All right. Do you know her very well?
No.
Do you know but you know who she is?
I know she has black hair and it, sticks to her.
Have you ever heard anything bad about her? No.
I know the boy's stepfather is abusive, and I know his father has been in and out of prison his whole life.
Are they from here, do you know? Or are they...
I have no idea.
Okay. But that's where we're at right now.
I just sent you his cell phone number.
Okay.
you don't care, try to get me those messages pretty quick. That way I have them to use in my interview. And I don't know if we mentioned it, but the interview between Sham was recorded, video and audio. So we have that.
That doesn't have to be re-interviewed several times.
Right.
In that audio clip, Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt admits that he has not even interviewed the alleged defendant yet. Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt also asks the alleged parents if they knew us. Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt then asked if they have heard anything bad about us. Then Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt asked if we were even from around here. Now on to exhibit number 8. In this following audio clip, Cham Buchanan stops Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt from talking and says the following.
It's not going to be a slap on the wrist, a couple of months probation.
This is at a point where we have to talk to everyone involved. We have to get everyone's statements, because at this point, like right at this second, we have a one side of the story. Okay, so we have to talk to everyone, and that's what we'll do. It'll be a thorough investigation. We'll make sure that we'll make sure that everybody gets talked to that's supposed to know something. Okay, and that's why we do our questions the way that we do them, so we can find out all the information that way. So at this point, like right now, he doesn't have enough. I know that he doesn't have enough.
Right.
But that's why we're going to talk to everyone. Then he's going to do the alleged offender interview, and then we'll go from there. So I want to tell you, heck yeah, we'll get this guy, but I can't. Not at this point. It's too early.
And I think and another thing to add to that is if, we do think we have enough to charge him, once we charge him, it's in the prosecutor's hands.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately they make the decision whether they move forward or not. But I can assure you, between myself, Sham's a great resource for us, but between myself, Lieutenant Stewart, Captain Williams, and Chief Deputy Simpson, there's probably over 100 years of experience between the 4 of us and with her. So rest assured, we're going to do everything we can do with what we can get.
Now, with that being said, I would also like the missing evidence we keep asking for. See exhibit number 9.
So I've got this recorder right here, okay? I'm going to set it right here. And that's just to make sure that I have a recorded statement. The camera records. It's just so I don't have to take a whole lot of notes about what we talk about, okay? So, you know my name, but I'm going to tell it to you anyway. My name is Shan, and tell me your name.
Later that afternoon, Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt finally interviewed the defendant and his mother. In this video clip, please pay attention to Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt walking into the room and asking to confiscate the phone. Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt then states he can also send the phone off to the state crime lab and have a forensic download taken from the phone. After threatening to take the phone, Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt then said he would get a consent to search form. Please pay close attention to the following video clip.
Okay. So here's where we're at, okay? I am going to let y'all go home. I'm sorry it took so long, okay? That wasn't my intentions. We were just trying to get all the details, okay? At this point, I am going to seize his phone, not only for the other party's sake, but for his as well.
This is where Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt said, there could be exculpatory evidence on this phone. Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt then said, he needs to seize the phone to retrieve this evidence.
Because he did say there may be some evidence on there that shows
any evidence.
Okay. Well, and that's what I'm getting at, okay?
Yeah,
so,
I'm gonna,
Just take some shots yourself.
yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't have a whole lot of trust for police officers,
Okay.
so I'm going to copy and.
I can't do that right now. I've got to seize the phone, okay? I'm not going to delete anything off there. I can't do that legally.
Can I ask why?
I will go to jail for that. Seizing your phone?
Yes.
Because I have to get the evidence off of it, okay? And this is what I'm going to ask next.
In this clip, Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt continuously keeps saying, I need to seize the phone. Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt then goes on to explain how he can retrieve the evidence from the phone, by either getting the password or by doing a forensic download.
Is that we can do it one of two ways to get the stuff off there. I can ask you for consent to search the phone
You can go right ahead.
with the passcode, okay? Or I can send it to the Crown Lab and they can do a forensic download. But that's totally up to you. Like I said, I'm not taking it out of, I'm not trying to be a butthole, okay, for the lack of words. I'm just trying to do my job, okay? I'm trying to get all the evidence together and put it together.
I understand. Like I said, I just.
And I'm not a liar, okay? When I told
At this time, Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt states he's not trying to be a butthole, and that he is just doing his job. Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt also states he is not a liar. But, based on the physical evidence we have provided, we have now proven Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt has committed perjury and has hid evidence. Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt then continues to state, this evidence will help the defendant. Let's continue with this video clip.
I told y'all earlier that I wasn't investigating because I'm against you, okay? I'm investigating because I want to resolve the situation and get the facts straight, okay? And his phone has some info on it that may help me do that. So I would like to seize the phone at this point.
I mean, there's a lot of messages you're gonna have to scroll through, like thousands.
Okay.
How long are you gonna have this phone for?
I'm going to try to do my best to go through it and have it back by the end of the week. I can't promise that, but that's the plan.
That's gonna kill me.
Well, not only that, but like, I don't like.
And like I said, I may be able to plug it into my computer and pull all the stuff off of it and then be able to give it back to you. Not pull all of it off, but copy it.
Yeah.
Okay. So if that's the case, it shouldn't take me more than a day.
At this time, Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt states it shouldn't take more than a day to retrieve the evidence from this phone. Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt and the Sharp County Sheriff's Department had possession of this phone for 10 days but failed to secure this evidence in their files. Furthermore, Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt also stated under oath that he didn't find anything pertinent to the case within these text messages. But, when reviewing the files, the Arkansas State Police used these text messages to find the allegations untrue.
I just have a really hard time handing this over knowing that there's evidence on it.
I understand, but like I said, I'm not going to delete anything off of it. Okay, you have my word. I know you don't trust police officers.
I will know if there's something deleted off of it. I can do it.
I know you don't trust police officers, okay, and I'm not asking you to trust me, but I can promise you with everything I own that I'm not going to delete anything off this phone, okay, and that's on camera. So if
Yeah, but you could be like, there was nothing on his phone.
Oh man, I'm not going to do that. Okay? I'm not gonna.
In this clip, you can clearly see the defendant's mother is hesitant on giving Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt the phone, stating she doesn't trust police. Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt then states that he will not delete anything off the phone. But, what Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt failed to do, was use the exculpatory evidence the defendant provided him. You can also clearly see the defendant take the phone out of his mother's hand, giving it to Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt. The defendant clearly knew his text messages would prove his innocence.
I mean, I was literally just sitting here scrolling through messages.
If you don't care, can you give me the password?
It's not a password.
So from there.
Okay, so you go from bottom up, over, and then back.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to get a form for y'all to sign. You don't care, it's a consent search form, okay? It's just
Here you go, if you wanna scroll that.
Oh, okay.
You might want to put the dots on there so that they know.
As you can see, the defendant and the defendant's mother are calm about the situation, and are clearly willing to provide Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt with a consensual search of the defendant's phone. Clearly Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt could not find any incriminating evidence against the defendant within these messages. Therefore, Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt disregarded the exculpatory evidence that the Arkansas State Police found contradicting of what the alleged victim was claiming.
Because it's like the.
It's kind of like an X with a line at the top. Okay. All right. Thank you. Let me grab this form real quick. Y'all can come out here if you want to. I'll get it.
With the evidence provided in this video, and the evidence that the state of Arkansas already holds in their possession, Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt is clearly in violation of perjury. Lieutenant Bryce Trivitt, Prosecuting Attorney Devin Holder or Prosecuting Attorney Joe Grider, have also violated the Brady Rule. The Brady Rule is named after the 1963 Supreme Court case Brady v. Maryland. The rule requires police officers and prosecutors to disclose all Brady material, regardless of whether the defense requests it. The prosecution must disclose this evidence even if they didn't know it was in their files. Therefore, we would like these public officials held responsible for their actions. Thank you, and God bless America. If there is any civil rights defense attorneys out there that would be interested in hearing more about this case, please feel free to email me at sharpcountycorruption@hotmail.com. Thank you.